Hey everyone, welcome back to We Are Chattin, your Penn State Brandywine podcast. We're your hosts, Ava Clements
and Natalie DeMario.
And today we are chatting with Dr. Marilyn Wells.
Dr. Wells is Regional Chancellor for Penn State Brandywine, Mont Alto, and York. She's a strategic and visionary leader who is bold and centered on people with a sense of humor. She's also a proud parent who loves creative pursuits, museums, and the theater.
With all of that said, Dr. Wells, welcome to We Are Chattin.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We're so happy to have you here today.
Yes. So let's jump in. What initially led you to Penn State Brandywine?
That's a great question. At the time, I was in Minnesota, where I was Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, had been there for 6 years, and was starting to think about the next step in my career journey. And so as I was looking through various materials by some of the search firms, and I came across the leadership profile for Penn State Brandywine for their next chancellor. And as I read through that, it really just kind of resonated and spoke to me. So from there, here I am today.
Great. Well, we're glad that you found that post online.
Yes.
Yeah. All the way from Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
wow.
amazing.
That's a far travel, far jump.
It is. So today, where it's like, 13 degrees, this will be a warm day in Minnesota.
I was just going to say, you're probably used to the cold weather.
Yes, but that's why I'm here.
Good.
So what inspired you to pursue a leadership position in higher education?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, 3 or 4, I would be sitting on the front porch of our home with my chalkboard and playing school. And so if you were to ask me what was I designed to do, be an educator is in my DNA. But I went to college and ultimately became a faculty member at Hampton University and had been there about a decade. And had become department chair. And I was, again, starting to think what might be next. Would I pursue a more research-intensive position in another university? Would I go into leadership and administration? And as I thought about that, and even as I became a department chair, oftentimes people would look to me to be the one to lead the department. So I think it kind of chose me. And then I kind of answered the calling. I've always believed if you do your best and you serve others, then opportunities open their doors for you.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one for sure.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. That's awesome.
Was there anyone in particular who kind of encouraged you or supported you along the way?
Well, in my college years and professional life, there have been many, many people who have supported and encouraged me along the way and says, why don't you take this leadership program, or why don't you sign up for this opportunity or lead this committee? But underlying all of that, without a doubt, the person who encouraged me along the way was my mother. Ever since I was a little girl, she was always encouraging me to do many kinds of things, and she was my biggest leader and mentor.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially someone in your family. Like they're close to you and they can read you well and understand you well.
And though I think of myself as young, I'm probably not quite as young as you folks. And the opportunities weren't there for girls like they are today. And girls were still, you could be a teacher, a nurse, or a flight attendant. And my mother encouraged me to do all kinds of things. She was a woman a little bit ahead of her time, I think. Or wanted for me things maybe she wanted, but she didn't get to do going to high school in the World War II years.
Wow, that's really inspiring.
Great.
Is that something that you've maybe carried over into your own family?
Absolutely. Even down to, as you maybe know, one of the things that I did upon coming here was establish the Chancellor's Commissions on Equity by Design. And one of those is on empowering women. Women have achieved so much in our society, but there's still areas where we can grow and continue to evolve and to be respected for making whatever choices we make for our own lives and families.
Absolutely. And I think having someone to look up to definitely helps you along the way, you know?
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
It's a really great message.
Yeah.
So what would you say a typical day looks like for you when you're on campus here at Brandywine?
That question kind of makes me laugh. When I was back in Minnesota as provost and senior vice president for academic affairs, my daughter was in grades 7 through 12 and was very busy and active. She was a competitive gymnast and was very involved in choir. And oftentimes she would say, "What did you do today, Mom?" And I'd say, "Oh my gosh, I had so many meetings. I'd go here to there." And one day she said something, and it was like, I don't know what you do, but I sure don't want to do that. Like, all you are is in meetings all the time. So then I flipped that narrative, and it's what I do in the meetings. I help people. I open new doors and new pathways. I create opportunities. I remove barriers. So a typical day for me is I hope I get to do a whole lot of that. And that when I go home at night and I lay down, that I could say that I learned something new, that I gave and received kindness, and I made people laugh or made the world better for them. So in the midst of all of those meetings and spending time with faculty, staff, students, business leaders, community members, I hope that's what I do most.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of jump off of that, you've been at Brandywine for about 6 years now, and the campus has already seen like a whole deal of growth under your leadership. So what do you envision for the next 6 years?
Okay. Well, I think some of those we will continue that trajectory. Okay. Growing our student enrollment, student growth in that regard, that we will continue to grow our academic portfolio. We've added new programs in cybersecurity and computer science and other areas. But as a part of the university and University College, look at what new academic programs we will offer into the future that are things that you want and that our employers and regions need. Without a doubt, 6 years from now, we will be fully into NCAA Division III athletics. And maybe we'll have our first national championship or two under our belt. Amazing. That might be bold and gutsy, but you don't do that unless you shoot for that area. Yeah. And I think Penn State we're at a moment where for our Commonwealth campuses that we be even more involved in the communities and the regions in which we are situated, that we're solving problems, being a part of solutions in our region, that we have even stronger and deeper partnerships in our area. And of course, with all that, we continue to make our spaces and our facilities even more modern and relevant. We have a lot of new places like where we are right now.
Absolutely. For sure.
And our Academic Success Center and other places. But there's some other places on campus I'd like to see sparkle and shine and serve just as much.
Yeah,
so.
I keep telling everyone, that comes on the podcast and even, potential listeners and stuff, like our campus is amazing.
It really is.
Like a Penn State campus in your backyard like this, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Absolutely.
No. Yeah.
And you think we're 20 miles out of Center City, Philadelphia, and just this past fall we were officially designated an arboretum and a part of the Commonwealth Arboretum Network where students can research and learn. We have a campus garden. It's such a rich campus, so beautiful, which, going back to what drew me here, when I actually submitted my application and was invited for an interview, it was October 20th or 22nd, I believe, and it was just so gorgeous on campus. You just feel something when you set foot on campus.
Oh, 100%.
You really do. Yeah, and I think that goes back to the whole connection piece, because this community is very connected with one another, and once you enter into that community, you really do feel that connection. So I think that's another great goal to carry out for these next 6 years as a way to really capitalize on that for us. Yeah,
I'd have to agree with you on that.
So how do you collaborate with students to understand their direct needs and how those needs can be met?
You asked what a typical day looks like, and every day I need to fill my cup with students. And I do that both in formal and informal ways. For example, I meet regularly with the leadership of our student government, and I'll go to varying events, whether it's things on campus, but I also do it in a lot of informal ways, whether I'm getting my slice of pizza in the Blue Apple Cafe or just striking up conversations in a parking lot or whatever, to approach students and say, how's your day going? What's working out well for you this semester? What are you struggling with? So in both formal and informal ways.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And it's those little conversations like that that really stick out in someone's brain, especially for me, I'd say.
For sure. I mean, just being able to stop and say hello. I mean, that could make someone's day.
It really can.
It really can.
It really can.
To kind of shift gears a little bit, are there any challenges that you faced during your time here that ultimately led to opportunities?
Are there any? Maybe how many are there? As I just mentioned, I came here 6 years ago, which would put us back in January 2020, and just a few weeks later, the pandemic descended on our world
Wow.
and changed so many things. And Penn State has continued to change and face pressures like all of higher education, whether it's enrollment, finances, the list goes on. But I would say one challenge that's turned into a phenomenal opportunity. Penn State, under our former president, Eric Barron, had started the Invent Penn State network. And campuses, they put seed grants out. We're receiving money to start launch boxes. And the very strong and visionary woman who hired me, Marilyn Haynes, when she hired me, she says, Marilyn, Brandywine doesn't have a launch box yet, and you need to get that going. And I'm not I'm more the front of the line girl, not the back of the line girl. So as we started to take what really good work had been started on campus by one of our staff and some of our faculty and take it to the next level. And so at that point, we were looking for a community location for our launch box, which we eventually did do. The pandemic slowed down real estate leases and all those kinds of things. But we did have a ribbon cutting for a community-based launch box in Lansdowne, a beautiful space, and we did many good things there. But as we looked at, was that the best location to really help us achieve our goals? And we says, well, we need to explore other opportunities. And, amidst real estate leases and financing and transportation and getting faculty, staff, and student and community engagement, we turned that into this beautiful space that we're here on campus, our maker space, with our fabrication lab, this podcast studio, collaboration spaces. So what was handed to me in the early days of my leadership was, hey, you're trailing the pack with your launch box and a pandemic and all of the other fiscal and other pressures. We turned so much of that into opportunities, engaged the community, identified the funding and the resources, and had to get the community engaged, the campus community engagement with students. And this was a very different space before, and now it's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I remember walking by during construction and just being like, wow, I can't wait to just see this get done and see what it turns out to be. And it is beautiful. I mean, we have 3D printers, a podcast studio that we're in, a huge space out there for students to work at no cost, no additional cost. I mean, it's great. It's just a great space for everyone.
And I think, being here right now and having this podcast is like proof of that perseverance and that commitment to creating a space like this for students, for us students. I mean, this is just, it's really incredible. So
and there was no cost to students, but have no doubt, places like this cost a lot of money.
Right.
Yes.
But having the vision, having all the pieces come into place, that when we had the opportunity for resources, and the challenge was we could do this, but we had to expend this money in a defined time frame. And people building those relationships were ready to rally together and get it done. And this is a free resource available to the campus and the community.
Yeah, it's a great one. That's
really
for sure.
awesome.
It really is.
what advice do you have for students who aspire to become leaders, such as yourself?
Okay. I'm going to go back to that very first leader that I had, my mom. And she and my dad would tell my brother and I, who were the first to go to college. Our parents didn't have that opportunity, and it was their dream that their son and daughter go to college. Well, I should say expectation. But they would always teach us, do your best. All we ask is that you do your best. You work hard and do your best. So doing your best. And sometimes if you stumble or fall, those can be great opportunities to discover a new direction or strength that you didn't know you had. I would always say I went to kindergarten at age 4. I was very petite. I wore a toddler size 3, and I wore glasses. And my mother would always tell me, sit in the front of the classroom so you could see. But throughout life, sit up front means if the teacher or faculty member is asking, is there someone who would like to volunteer? Or I'm looking for someone for this, or raise your hand to opportunities even if you think I'm not ready, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, seize those opportunities when they come before you. You're to step up and take advantage of those opportunities. And then I would kind of building on that, I would say a third thing is oftentimes all of us, wherever we are in life, we think we might want to do something, or it might be a goal, or you might want to do something at some point in time. And then all of a sudden it's right in front of you. And you think, well, I'm not ready for that. Or I need to get a little bit more education, a little bit more money, a little bit more of this. When the door of opportunity opens, you need to walk through it. Because other people are seeing you're ready. And then when you think you're ready, that door may have closed. So always be confident and walk through that door of opportunity.
Wow.
It's great advice.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's something that's going to stick with me. Absolutely.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
So I helped people today.
You
That was-
did.
Yes,
You absolutely
You can check
did.
that
You
off the list.
Accomplish that goal.
Lastly, what do you find most rewarding about serving as regional chancellor for Penn State Brandywine, Mont Alto, and York?
Wow, yeah. That was an opportunity that came before me in late June of 2024, and I got a call, are you willing to do this? I need to know this afternoon.
Wow.
So
Oh my
I
gosh.
said yes. In terms of the regions of the chancellors, I have the largest in terms of geographic spread. In that from Brandywine to York to Mont Alto, it's almost 3 hours.
Wow.
And I have the 3 largest of the Commonwealth campuses in University College in terms of enrollment. And what I would say the most rewarding part has been, without a doubt, the people. We have great students, faculty, staff on all of our campuses. There's great ideas, great programs, great initiatives, great people in the communities who have been so passionate about their campuses. And so the opportunity, whichever one I'm on, say, well, maybe you should talk to so-and-so at this other campus because they're doing some really cool things there. And to be able to share those ideas across campuses. The campuses that worked really kind of autonomously. And through all of the changes with the announcement of 7 campuses that are planned for closure in 2027, there's a much stronger collaboration that we're really working more as a family, and we'll share good things, or we don't always need to be reinventing the wheel individually. We can do things together, as well as to discern this campus, this region is really unique and special in this, and this one's really unique and special in this. But I think that all comes down to the people and taking time to get to know them and listen and learn and be present.
Yeah. And to go off that, I think that there's nothing better than just the community here at Penn State Brandywine. And I'm sure Mont Alto and York as well, but just the people that are here, the smiling faces when you walk past someone, just saying hello. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. And I think when you're at Maine, it's great, but these smaller campuses, they're just as good, maybe not even, they're a little better, I think.
I look at it like we are a family in
Yeah.
many ways. And every member of a family has something that makes them unique and special and different.
Yes.
Different doesn't mean one has to be better and one has to be less. We're all very different, and we make that up together. And we're at a point in time through this great challenge where we're discovering more about those opportunities. And how do we tell those stories to people all across Pennsylvania and beyond is something that's really cool. But I feel really honored to be leading and serving during this time. And of course, with Mont Alto and York, two that are planned for closure, providing care for the people on the campus and in the community.
Absolutely.
Well, we're happy that you're leading us. So
Yes,
it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. It's truly inspiring. So thank you, Dr. Wells.
Yeah. Now off to a section we like to call Rapid Chattin'. So if you're up for it, we can fire off some rapid fire questions at
Okay.
you. You ready?
Okay, I'm
all right,
ready.
let's do it. We know you like theater. So what's your favorite theater production?
The Nutcracker Ballet.
Oh, that's a great
that's a
one.
good
Do you have
one.
a specific one that you...
I go every year, and it's something when my daughter was probably 4, I took her for the first time. And I've lived and worked in 8 different states.
Okay.
Yeah.
And wherever we are, some years it's been a local ballet company at a high school that we've gone to a number of years. It's been the American Ballet Theater in New York City. Everyone is different, but everything about it I just love.
Yeah, the music is great too.
It's a
It's
great
so
show.
good.
You can see it a million times
Yes.
every year, and it never gets old.
Yes,
for sure.
It's
for
awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the best museum you've ever been to?
I love museums, and sometimes it depends upon the mood, but I would say the Smithsonian.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Because there's so much to the Smithsonian in every mood or every intellectual curiosity, or you could spend 3 days or 3 hours or 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's great. All right, one we like to ask everybody: if you were stranded on a desert island, who would you call for help?
My partner, Roy.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Awesome.
We haven't gotten any family members yet,
Yeah.
so that was nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
I almost said Ghostbusters because when I was about your age, the movie Ghostbusters was popular, but no, my partner, Roy.
Okay, good.
That's
good,
sweet.
Good.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
What's your favorite campus event to attend here at Brandywine?
Oh, I love so many of them, but one that tugs at all the right heartstrings, I would have to say our Donors and Scholars celebration. It brings together our students, our donors, parents and families, community members, people on campus, and it really is ties together all the parts of Penn State, our alumni network, our students and all of that. And you see dreams coming true and so forth, and it's beautiful. It's about giving thanks. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. The food is great. I love food, so I would have to say that's up there.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. I was there this past fall, and just being able to express my gratitude, to my donor. I mean, it was amazing. It was so much fun. Lastly, what upcoming Penn State event are you most looking forward to?
Oh gosh, that's like saying which kid do you love the most?
I know.
But at the core of our mission of the campus is student success and producing students who are going to be leaders and alumni and professionals and all of that. We have to go with commencement. It's a very, very wonderful time of year, and everything about that one as well. If I had to pick a close second, this spring I'm looking forward to our Brandywine Ball,
Yes.
which has many
Interesting.
of the similar themes as the Donors and Scholars celebration.
All right.
Yeah, I heard there's a pretty cool theme with the Brandywine Ball this year. Isn't
Yes,
that correct?
Mission Possible.
There
Mission
we go.
Possible. Not impossible, possible.
Possible.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's awesome.
All right. Well,
Really looking
That's
forward
what
to
we're
it.
about.
Yeah.
We're about making
All
possibilities.
possibilities. Yeah. Well, thanks, Dr. Wells, for coming on the podcast today and sharing, such positive insight, and we really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
this
thank
was
you.
a fun part of my day. and-
Awesome.
Glad we can make it better for
Yes,
you.
yes. Glad you taught me something. You can check that off the
Yes,
list.
yes, absolutely. Thanks, Dr. Wells.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in. We are done chatting for today. This podcast was recorded in the Penn State Brandywine Makerspace Media Production Studio. We Are Chattin was made possible by Penn State Brandywine Strategic Communications and the Brandywine Launchbox. Remember to like this podcast and stream it on wherever you get your podcasts.